This is why you're here, is because you're ready to bloom so that you can change the world for the better. But it first starts with yourself. So listen, if you're a highly emotional being, you actually have this superpower. This is a good thing, but it takes time and it takes practice to become resilient and strong so that you can actually show up in the way that you want to show up in your life. So first, number one, we're gonna start with doing it sad, okay? Listen, there is a lot going on in the world right now. Everybody understands that, everybody knows that, and it's not new to a lot of people. That's really important to realize. But all of this media and knowing everything that's going on can cause immense sadness, and it can cause you to become really depressed and just stop. This is fight or flight mode. This is what people that are in power want you to feel, okay? And I need you to know right now that just because you feel sad, you need to keep going. You need to get to the deepest part of your courage and the deepest part of your knowing and continue to move forward, okay? Continuing to move forward does not mean burning out. And this takes practice as well, okay? But whenever you're sad, continuing to move forward can look like taking care of yourself, taking a nice shower, brushing your teeth, brushing your hair. Those simple things is actually helping you move forward out of sadness. And it's okay to feel sad. That's very important to realize as well, is that it's okay to feel sad. You don't have to be perfect, but remember to keep going anyway. If you have dreams, let's say you're writing a book, or let's say you have a YouTube channel, or let's say you are going to school, or let's say, you're doing something completely different, okay? Whatever it is, whatever your personal dream is, and I have a video for that here if you need to, help finding out your personal dream, and it'll be at the end of this video that you can find. But whatever you personally need to do in this life is important, and you need to understand that. So if you're sad right now, this video is gonna help you, and it's gonna help remind you that no matter what it looks like, keep going, okay? Do it sad. That's number one. Now, number two, do it scared. Listen, you're not going to be perfect. Actually, you're already perfect according to the actual definition of perfect. And you can check out my video on the actual definition of perfect. But first, we're gonna get into doing it scared. You're never gonna be perfect. You're your worst critic, okay? You need to remember that. You also need to remember that your whole life, most likely, your voice has been suppressed. You literally have been told not to speak up, not to tell your truth, not to cry, not to get angry, not to do. You need to understand that it takes practice to use your voice. It's scary at first to use your voice because most likely your entire life, you are not able to actually express yourself authentically. And maybe you were ostracized for it. That means being pushed in a corner for it. Maybe you didn't have friends because of it growing up. But let's be honest, once we get older, once we get out of school, and once we move through our trauma and we allow ourselves to heal, we realize, oh my God, the only way to actually make real change on this world, or actually have joy, or have some sort of abundance, is being authentic. And being authentic is directly connected to your voice. And it feels scary, but you need to do it scared, because that is never going to go away. Moving through feeling scared is the key. And yes, honey, we literally all feel terrified, okay? You might want to start a nonprofit. You might want to be an activist. You might need to tell your family that you're not going to talk to them again. You might need to tell your partner that you need to have deep conversations. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You might need to, switch jobs, or maybe even go in a different direction with your life, okay? You might need to have really, really honest conversations with yourself first, and that can be really, really scary. But the only way that your life is going to change is if you do things scared. I know in my personal life and in every other person's life that have actually made big changes in their life, they were all terrified. It wasn't like it was easy. But what's beautiful is that every single human being gets to practice courage, gets to practice having the courage and having the bravery to choose differently this time. And remember, doing it scared means you're probably not going to please everybody. Actually, you're not going to please anyone other than yourself. And that's what you need to focus on first, is please yourself first. Do not allow the belief systems or the thoughts of your past, your family, your friends, all of that you're leaving behind. And I'm not saying that you're like actually leaving everyone behind, but what I'm saying is that there's a certain skin that you must shed so that you can move forward. And it's absolutely terrifying. And every single person that's ever done it is scared doing it. But it's a muscle and it never goes away, but you just keep getting stronger and you keep getting more courageous. And those little acts of courage, those little acts of doing it scared anyway, is what helps you just break out of those boxes. Just one little act at a time. If you start feeling scared in your body, all right, let's make a new decision. And in that moment, make a new decision. When your voice shakes, do it anyway. When you start sweating and you're terrified, do it anyway. If you start crying, do it anyway. If you feel weak in the knees, do it anyway. This takes practice, and every single individual that has ever developed any sort of courage in the face of being terrified and being scared knows that that is true. It takes practice, and you need to begin where it feels messy and it feels terrifying and it feels like it'll never get better. Oh, but honey, it does. And it's the most empowering thing that you can do, is continuing to follow your courage and follow your truth, even though it is scary, okay? Now we're moving to number 3. Do it confused. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows what the truth is. Nobody knows anything. And if anyone tells you that they know everything, they definitely don't know anything. One of my favorite quotes of all time is, and I actually have it on my freaking refrigerator, is the only wisdom is in knowing that you know nothing. And listen, that can sometimes be confusing, especially for hyper-analytical minds, so I'm going to help you out here. You can have your own truth. That is super important. Remember how we talked about that? It is so important to have your own truth and to speak your own truth. And that is very real and very, very valid. And it will change over time, and it will get stronger over time, and it will get more clear over time, right? But the fact is that all we have is right now. And if you feel confused about your path, you might feel confused about where you're going. You might feel confused about what it's going to produce in your life. Taking big acts of courage literally causes you to step in the unknown, especially whenever you're breaking generational curses, whenever none of your family might have gone down the path that you're going down. Maybe none of your friends totally understand what you're doing, but honey, listen, the closest people to you will never understand exactly what you're doing, but I can tell you that it is the most important thing that you will ever do in your life, is to do it when even you are confused, but you know deep within yourself that you must follow your greatest path of liberation. You must follow your greatest path to freedom, and that means stepping into the unknown. Another one of my favorite quotes is by MLK Jr. It is, faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. And that's the truth. Nobody knows the future. I know for a fact prophecies are real, tarot card readings are real, prayer is real, whatever belief system you have. But I can tell you one thing. Nobody, and I mean nobody, no matter if you're the Oracle of Delphi or if you're Christ himself, not one being knows the future, because everything is being created right now. And that's it. Yes, there are quantum realities, there are quantum timelines, and that's probably Some of you came here because that's one of my main focuses in this lifetime. But you need to remember that always it comes back to the now moment. What are you doing right now in this physical reality? How are you looking upon your physical reality? Okay? And if you are confused, dig deep. Dig deep within yourself. You can find inspiration outside of yourself, but the sharpest, truest truth that you will ever find is the deeper work that takes time. And it takes asking yourself questions. It takes letting things go that no longer serve you, and it can feel ruthless. It can feel merciless. Especially if you're an emotional being, it can feel really hard finding clarity because you genuinely care and you know all of these things. But listen, my love, do it confused. Do it anyway. And this leads to the beautiful phrase, do it anyway. Do it sad, do it scared, do it confused, do it anyway. Why? Because you know for a fact that it's going to keep nagging at you for the rest of your life if you don't. Remember, we're all gonna hit the ground and we're all gonna become dirt, honey. We're all gonna become dirt. So you need to remember to take chances, to do it anyway. Go for it anyway, and do it with all of your heart.
Sunshine, sunshine, sunshine. I think I found it now. What I've been looking for. Isn't it beautiful?